Hey guys, this is Gaming Cow. Welcome back to Pokemon Platinum, the random Nuzlocke. Last time we took a few goes at knocking out the Piplup with our Mareep over here because it wasn't exactly a super duper sheep. And yeah, we caught ourselves one Pokemon and that's been pretty good. So, just before we keep heading on here, the one thing I do want to say is that I do now have my SNES pad functionality back, which is pretty great. Turns out that next day delivery is kind of pretty great, even though it wasn't supposed to strictly be next day, so that's cool. And I just want to say, I didn't actually go over the natures and stuff here before, so yeah, that's something we can do. And Shauna is actually a pretty good nature. You know, calm nature is nice, although the physical attack drop is not so good for the immediate term. It's partly why we've been doing so little damage, but the special defense is quite nice to have, and when we start getting special attacks later, that'll be really solid. So I'm happy enough with that. And then Banner over here is a brave nature, so that's not terrible, you know. It does have the increased attack power, which is good, and it has guts instead of no guard, which is probably the better ability for the main game. I mean, no guard is nice in the sense that, you know, all of your really high power, low accuracy attacks would hit, but for the most part, I think we're going to be pretty much using, you know, much higher accuracy moves here, so being able to get an attack boost off of like a paralysis or a burn or something is actually really good. So yeah, that is a solid start to our little escapade here. So, what we are going to do this time, I guess we're going to go up first and get the obligatory tutorial stuff out the way. And then we're going to go back to Lake Verity and we're actually going to catch a Pokemon there. Oh, actually I forgot that we need to do that first, so I guess scratch that, we're gonna do it in the opposite order, because we need to go back and tell our mom that we're leaving, I suppose, and there's nothing she can do to stop it. No, but yeah, it's kind of a plot point, I suppose, that you need to go ahead and say. There are some games where it's not like an automatic thing, like Heart Gold Soul Silver, you don't actually have to go back, you can just keep going, because there's the Pokegear, you get the phone call. So, yeah. So we get this, blah 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 blah, we're asked to do stuff, go for it, blah 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 blah, and we have a journal, so we can basically have a slight recap of what happened in the previous day's events, which is pretty cool. I actually kind of wish that the modern games did that as well, so yeah, it's a really nice touch. The one thing I don't like about it is that it's basically kind of mandatory to see. Oh yeah, this is why we also get the town map and stuff as well. No, must have left already. Blah 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 blah. He is indeed, and yeah, of course we will. Of course we will, because we're going to meet him on the way anyhow, so yeah, obtain the parcel. Yeah, that's going to obviously have the town map, which is a concept that we don't normally see nowadays because we have other stuff, but you know, we have other ways of using the map, getting the map and stuff, but in these games it was actually an item that you had to go ahead and use, so yeah, it's kind of thing. But going back with the journal stuff, the only thing that's wrong with it is that they kind of force you to look at it before, it's another screen before you start the game. But I do wish that it was there as like a key item that you could just check. That is not a particularly great opening sound error. Wait, Rotom's not a legendary Pokemon. Why am I hearing the legendary music for a Rotom? Okay. Rotom is not a legend, and yet it has a legendary theme here. Well, the fact if it's not a legend means I do kind of need to catch it here, because this supposedly is the first Pokemon that we are going to see, but I have no attacks that can hurt it because it's a ghost type. And that kind of sucks because there's nothing I can do to hit it, so well, let's just hope that we can catch it, I suppose. Even though it's got a low catch rate, so it's probably not going to happen. And it has Thunder Wave. Great. Okay. Machop only has Leer and low kick, so there's no way that it can hit the Rotom either. So we're just gonna have to hope for the best. Hope we can catch it in the Pokeballs that we've got. And then if we can't, well, that's too bad, you know. But I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to get it, so heck yeah. Oh, Rotom is so annoying at the early game though. It's got Thunder Shock, Thunder Wave, Confuse Ray, and I think Uproar in its opening gambit. Uproar is nowhere near as powerful as it is nowadays though, so yeah, we are not going to be able to catch this thing at all. I mean, maybe if it could make physical contact with me, because electric types, as you can see, can be paralyzed in this game, so that would be nice, but otherwise, yeah, we don't really stand a chance of getting this thing. Because it has such a low catch rate for the Pokeballs and stuff. Oh, Astonish is the move it has. That actually does make contact, so we do get a paralysis on it. Interesting. Okay. We might just about be able to catch this then if we are ultra lucky here. But even with the paralysis, you can see it's still like very, very low on the catch rate stuff here. Which is too bad, you know. I'm just still bemused about the music here. Like, why is the music changing and everything? That doesn't make any sense to me. I really wish there was a way that I could actually damage this thing, but that's the problem with finding a ghost so early on in the game, is that there just isn't any way that I can hurt it with my normal and fighting based attacks, you know? So, let's just hope. Oh man, we actually did catch it. Okay. Well then, I suppose we have Shauna the Sheep and we have a Rotom now, so that's kind of a thing. Okay, like I said, Rotom is not a legendary, so it does not count under that. However, it's a weird one to get. Like in this generation, the Rotom forms do not change their typing, so they're all Electric Ghost, which is why Heat Rotom was originally the best one of the set, because it could counter stuff like Scizor and whatnot a lot easier, and its Ghost typing didn't affect anything. So, I don't actually have much of an idea as to what this is going to be later, but for now, my D-pad is a bit louder on this than it is on the Xbox pad, I suppose, so that might come through. I apologise if it does, but for now I'm just going to call it driver, because that's what I usually do. And what are you like? Are you naive? Okay, that's not super great, but it's not the end of the world. The extra speed is nice. Bit of a shame about the special defense, but whatever. So, now that we are devoid of Pokeballs, because that thing decided to be a jerk and use like all of them, I suppose we'd better go get ourselves healed, and I'm gonna have to buy some more, even though I don't really have a lot of money right now. I mean, we're definitely going to use Rotom. I don't know if we're going to use Rotom at the same time as Mareep though, but like, Rotom is one of those Pokemon that just does a ton of damage in the early game, and even later on in the game it can do a lot because it gets some pretty cool moves. Oh, go away, Pikachu. Nobody cares about you. Technically, Pikachu doesn't count as a Pokemon you'd be able to catch anyway, because it is actually evolved. It evolves from Pichu, so yeah, Pikachu is not something you can catch. I also don't really want to fight them because they do have that static ability, which is not fun to go against. So yeah. Alright, well, I can buy 7 Pokeballs, and that is going to have to do, because I definitely can't just go with 2 in my thing. I do need to have a bit more than that. And yeah, that is how we are going to go. So you can also go down from here, but Route 219 doesn't really have too much available. It does have an item though, so you can get yourself an antidote if you want. I should also note, I have not played this game in a long time, so I'm probably gonna miss a fair few, like, things as we go, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Also, my controller seems to be wanting to go to the right a bit more than I would like. Anyway, let's get ourselves the obligatory tutorial now that we've totally caught 2 Pokemon already. Yep. Let's demonstrate everything, because that's how it goes. Thankfully, the static encounter here has not changed, so there's not really going to be any difficulty with Dawn catching the thing here. It's just extremely slow, and I could speed it up a little bit, but you know, the speed up function's a bit difficult to... It's not difficult, it's just like it's a bit cumbersome, I guess, on the DS emulation, because it can't really speed it up that much, just because it's already kind of potentially laggy as it is. Like, this is going to run at the solid 60 FPS, but it can cut down, as you see during saving, it lowers the FPS, so it won't be able to speed it up by too much. It takes too much processing power to do that. But yeah, she caught the Bidoof. Hooray. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we know. 5 Pokeballs, man. See, you know, nowadays you get like 10 to start with, so you only get 5 this time. So that means we have 14 Pokeballs in total, and we have to catch ourselves a Pokemon on this route. So let's go ahead and see what we are going to get. Jinx is actually an evolved Pokemon. It evolves from Smoochum, so this does not count. I guess I shall meet you guys when we are in a position to catch a Pokemon. Okay game, sure, let's have the stupidly impossible to catch Pokemon right at the start of the game when I have no freaking resources to do so. Oh man, so Heracross is a scary Pokemon to be going for right now. Thankfully it won't have counter. That would be really bad. But yeah, Heracross is actually faster at level 3 than my Mareep is at level 8. That's scary. Very scary. But I think I could switch to Rotom and resist / be immune to anything it could actually do. So that's fine, but I do want it to get paralyzed first, if possible. Okay, so using Endure means even if I did get a crit here, then it wouldn't actually kill it, which is pretty nice. And I don't really want to risk any more hits off it, so I want to try and get the, I want to get static on it if I can, which it would be really nice. I'm just gonna keep growling until it gets static. I think. Oh, Horn Attack is a bit more powerful though, but not so much when I have this in play. A static is only a 30% chance of activating, so it might not even work here. Let's just get one more growling, see if I can reduce it to 1 damage, and will it reduce it? No. Shoot. Okay, let's just go ahead and try and catch it then. We do have 14 Pokeballs, which is pretty nice. And yeah, these are some really strong Pokemon we're looking to get right at the start here. Wow, it just decided to get caught. Okay then. We have ourselves a Heracross right at the start of the game. This is just what happens sometimes in randomized Nuzlocke stuff, right? Sometimes you don't get anything, you get like Magikarps and maybe Pichu or Spoink. Spoink's not. No, Spoink has got Splash only, I think. Splash and maybe Sidewave at low levels. So, and then sometimes you get stuff like this, where you have Heracross and whatnot right at the start. And it's just like, huh, okay. Yeah, that is a thing. So I suppose I'm just gonna go with a really boring thing. Again, leave names for these things if you want in the comments, and as soon as we get the chance to change them, then we shall go ahead and do that. So let's check out our dear friend Bozy over here. It is a jolly nature as well. Good lord, it's even a brilliant nature. I figured it would have to have been plus speed to keep up with me there, but yeah, it's even a great nature. The ability, not quite so amazing. Guts is better than Swarm, because Heracross doesn't really get bug move until Mega Horn, like ultra late in the game. So this ability is pretty much worthless unless it survives the whole way through. But it's still a freaking Heracross, and that is super amazing. So, with that all said, I think we can afford to go through a little bit of the next route, and then we'll have to call it for a while. I think if I can get myself to Jubilife, then I would be very happy, and I would do the training of these guys off camera so I can get them to a reasonable level. I say off camera, but I would still be recording it, so just in case somebody died, because, you know, even if we're just training, it still counts if a Pokemon gets KO'd, you know. We kinda do have that in play, so let's just hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope I don't have static against me here. And of course I do, because I say that. Great! Okay. So that kinda sucks, because now we just have to deal with that irritation of being paralyzed. And Charge, even in this game, it's only in 3rd gen when it was introduced that Charge did not increase special defense. From 4th generation onwards it actually does, and it's kind of cool in that sense because Shinx actually learns it at a really early level, and Shinx is the one that you would see using this. One minor complaint I do kind of have about this gen is that the battle animations are really, really slow. Like, this generation just felt very, very, very slow in general. There was, back in Diamond and Pearl, surfing was unbearably slow, like walking speed slow, and there was no excuse for that. It's one of the reasons I'm playing Platinum instead of Diamond and Pearl, because, you know, surfing is kind of mandatory, and I really don't want it to take forever. So yeah, I suppose I will meet you guys back when I am not paralyzed anymore. Alright, you, first actual trainer fight here. Let's go ahead. Eyes met. Well, technically my eyes didn't meet yours, but you kind of forced me to. So, Strongman, Malcolm. Yeah, the Strongman and all that, the actual trainer classes are fixed now. Like, they've been randomized once within the whole thing, but now they're fixed as to what they are. So all the youngsters are going to be called Strongmen, or Strongman, which is kind of cool. And yeah, we have ourselves a Hoot to deal with. Not really too scary, especially when it misses its tackle. Oh man. So, Hypnosis is kind of more annoying, but again, it kind of missed. That was one thing, in Diamond and Pearl, Hypnosis's accuracy was changed to 70%, and then in Platinum and every other game after that, it went back to 60. I have no idea why, but they decided apparently that it was too good at 70% accuracy, so there you go. Have we seriously still not gotten Thundershock? I'm level 9 and I don't have Thundershock at the moment. That's ridiculous. I thought that you got Thundershock at this level, or you would have at least had something by now, but yeah, no, apparently we don't have Thundershock yet, which is kind of ridiculous. So the lasses are apparently ace trainers, okay. And you have a Zubat, so all the flying types at the moment. Unfortunately, we don't have an attack that hits them super effective, which is obnoxious, but, you know, I don't care. Oh, Supersonic is annoying though. I'm sure there was one game where Supersonic had 80% accuracy, but I forget where it is. Because I don't think it's actually in Gen 6 like I thought it was. Maybe it is, and I just am kind of blind to that, I don't know. But yeah, Energy Drain is not good. I really wish I had an electric move for stuff at the moment, and I guess since we are in trainer fight stuff now, this is going to bring up one other point, that I will try and not use items in the middle of battles unless I get ridiculously haxed. Like, there was one time in the Pokemon Black Nuzlocke. Was it Black or Black 2? No, I haven't done Black 2 entirely. In the Pokemon Black Nuzlocke, where I got completely locked out by Clay, and it's at that point where it's like, yeah, I will just use an item to get away with it. But so for like every crit or confusion or whatever that I get against me, I would have one item use. In theory, I don't know. If I would lose because of it, then I guess I would use more items. But yeah, it's obnoxious to deal with hacks and everything that way, especially because it's entirely randomized. You don't know what's coming up, and yeah, it can be really stupid. So this is sort of ruling for it. I usually really dislike using items in the middle of fights though, so we will try our best not to do that, but there is no guarantee that that will stay the way of things forever. So yeah, we're just going to tackle this Slowpoke to death real quick, so I should be back when it's done. Alright, never mind, it used Yawn, so we switched out because Yawn is stupid. And yeah, so there's one more trainer on this route, and then we shall be done, because we have reached the next town and everything. So let's see what strongman Jimmy has here. The names are also randomized, so at least I think they are. They should be randomized. So yeah, Makuhita, pretty sure Makuhita wouldn't be able to touch Rotom at all, so I could probably afford to switch out here, but maybe I should. That focus energy is a little scary, but if it only has tackle, then I should be okay. How much does that do? 3 damage. I should be alright. That'll only do about 7 or 8 on a crit, and I can get myself a crit here as well, so that is pretty swell. And that focus energy did nothing. Heck yeah! But you can see what I mean about this gen and using their status-based attacks like constantly. Or their stat-based attacks, so yeah. Anyway, level 10, we are finally gonna get Thunder Shock. That should have been learned like 2 levels ago, but hey, that's what I mean about this gen being a lot slower in terms of gaining stats and stuff than the more modern ones, or moves specifically, because yeah, I think Marie would have learned that at level 6 or 7 before. And hey, there's an actual Shinx here. This is a Pokemon that would normally show up, but yeah. Also of note, I suppose, this is Gen 4, so you could hear that Marique's cry was a little bit lower pitch there because she is below half health, or at, you know, yellow health, so yeah. It's an item error. And yeah, in the original game, not in the randomizer, there will be some Pokemon did appear only at certain times of days, which, well, certain times of the day, not of days, which I thought was a really cool mechanic, to be honest, but they kind of stopped doing that a lot nowadays, so yeah. But they do other day and night based cycles, so yeah, we got 4 Pokemon, blah 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 blah. But to know more about, yep, let's go. Sure, whatever. Obligatory final cutscene stuff, go! That man, I don't know, what is that man doing? So this is the first instance of a recurring character in this game, in this series. Mysterious man, how did you know? We kind of didn't, good sir. Dome was just trying to be nice. And now he's a shady man, not just a mysterious man. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah, sure, okay. If you're such an elite, then you really should be telling us all this, especially not out in the open, good sir. Anyway, this is Luca. He's kind of been a recurring character in most of the games. I know he was in the Gen 5 games in the post-game. Usually he's just in the post-game of the things, but he was actually a really integral part of Gen 6 as well. Like X and Y's post-game is pretty much the only thing you could do in X and Y's post-game, so yeah. So blah blah blah, criminals, being on the lookout, blah blah blah. Yep, And we get ourselves a versus recorder. So this is another recurring item that you see in pretty much all the games nowadays, that you can record battles that you have. Mostly like online battles or in the Battle Frontier and stuff like that. So, yeah. No, I don't imagine you do, because spoilers, he doesn't have Pokemon. So yeah. Request, blah blah blah, not talk to me yet. Well, make up your mind, good sir. Uh-huh. 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 Dawn is just like, what a weirdo. So anyway, the trainer school is a place that we can go, and that is where Timmy is, so that's where we must go, but we must go there next time, because this has gone on more than long enough at this point. Turns out that editing video stuff for this is actually a bit easier on the file size, so I guess I'll be editing most of these after all, even if there's nothing to edit out. But this is an RPG with random encounters. There will always be stuff to edit out, so yeah, fun times. Anyway, this has been Gamer Cow playing Pokemon Platinum, the random Nuzlocke, and we are going to save. We have some new Pokemon which I shall level up off screen here. Get some, get them up to maybe not quite the same level as Mareep, I don't know, but at least to level 8 or 9 I would want to get them to. So that ought to be fun. And yeah, until next time, take care.